Today, I want to delve into something that has come up in our accelerator group and our weekly OS course as well. The idea of dropping the ball or dropping balls because we've got too much going on versus putting balls down. This is something that I see a lot with people with ADHD. Their ADHD brains generating idea after idea after idea, thought after thought after thought, and to-do lists piling up. And what we preach in the weekly OS and in the accelerator is like, hey, if you master your weeks are your best container to get a handle on this. So making those intentional choices to put the balls down, pick the ones that are important that you should keep, and will get you moving towards your goal. Today, we're talking about the chaos of too many to-dos. For ADHD brains, every task feels urgent and every slip feels like failure. But here's a shift. You don't have to juggle it all. You can put balls down on purpose. That's not failure, it's intention and focus. So let's break this down together. Hey, it's Steve. Real quick before we begin, the single biggest thing I've learned about succeeding as an ADHD entrepreneur is that everything boils down to mastering your weeks. So if ADHD is making business harder than it needs to be, I've got something that can help. Grab my free weekly ADHD dashboard. It's a free, simple, but powerful tool to help you stay focused, organized, and in control of your week. The link is in the description below. Hey, Steve August here with another solo episode of ADHD Entrepreneur Accelerator. And today I want to delve into something that has come up in our accelerator group and our weekly OS course as well. And the notion of, I'll just cut right to the chase here, is the idea of dropping the ball or dropping balls because we've got too much going on versus putting balls down. And this is something that I see a lot with people with ADHD. Their ADHD brains generating idea after idea after idea, thought after thought after thought, and to-do lists piling up. And what we preach in the weekly OS and in the accelerator is like, hey, if you master your weeks are your best container to get a handle on this. But the thing that happens is we get to the beginning of the week, or I like to do my weekly planning on Friday so I don't have to worry about it over the weekend. And the thing that happens is like we look at our magnetic north, we look at our rocks, we look at what our project list right now. And this project list has a way of growing and growing and growing and growing because there's just lots of ideas and lots of things in process. And ADHD brains are very additive brains. We're not good at subtracting. We're great at adding new things in. So what happens is we tend to get all these overloaded to-do lists. Inevitably, something drops, right? We forget to get back to somebody. We forget to write that email. We forget to do the follow-up that we were supposed to do. And we feel bad because we dropped the ball, right? And that's the thing that is important to take a shift on, because if we can look at that to-do list and get really clear, about, okay, here's what we're really here to do, or it's what our magnetic north, our mission and our vision tells us to do, that we say we want, here's the impact we want to make, here's how we want our life to look, here are the things that we've identified as the major projects that are going to move us forward, and yet there's all this overload that's happening, is that we have to be willing to put things in an order. So ADHD brains will always kind of elevate to everything to the same level of urgency and the same level of importance. And that's what we call the great wall of everything now. And the trick to it is to, on at least a weekly basis, and sometimes multiple times a week, is go into that task list and to go into the dashboard or whatever you're using to organize yourself and really take a hard look at what really has to be done this week and what really can be sequenced later and what really might not ever need to be done. And it requires a little bit of ruthlessness because everything on that list has possibility and could help you move forward. But we have to unstack that wall of everything now some way. And so the way I look at it is, and I think it's been helpful for people to think about it this way, is, hey, I don't want to drop balls. I want to knowingly put them down, because that means I'm being intentional about it. I'm being proactive about it. I'm not being reactive about it. And that lets me kind of make a decision and move forward. And it can be really challenging because the overwhelm is real and our brains aren't tremendously, it's got to have a limited capacity for prioritization and organization. But with whatever we've got, and this is why it's really helpful to have other people or a coach or a program or, somebody who you can bounce things off of, or ChatGPT or whoever it is that you can leverage, give you a little bit extra executive function to make decisions and to sequence things and to intentionally put these balls down so they don't get dropped. And that frees up your bandwidth internally in terms of making other decisions and getting into action and getting out of the freeze, the overwhelm of the freezing that happens when we're in overwhelm, and giving yourself permission to put it's almost a permission thing where we have to give ourselves permission to put them down. And when we do that, doing it with the approach of like, because I decided to do it, it was the right choice, is really helpful because there's so many possibilities that we've constructed that, we don't know. So making those intentional choices to put the balls down, pick the ones that are important that you should keep, and will get you moving towards your goal, whatever that happens to be, whether it's growing your business, creating more free time in your life, building on your relationships, and understanding that there's not time for everything, as much as your brain would like to tell you that you need to do everything all at once. And making some willful decisions. And sometimes it's hard because you have to put down stuff that's really good. And sometimes, but it's not as impactful as the things that you're going to keep. And so I just wanted to share that thought because as I've been coaching my groups and my clients, that concept of, yes, you can put the ball down. You don't have to drop them. You can intentionally put them down, and that's okay, right? And that's the way you want to approach it. And the way we do that is by organizing our weeks and checking in with that plan each week. So that's just the quick thought. This is a super quick episode because I think it's enough, essentially, to take that idea and run with it. But that's the thought for this week. And be sure to tune in later as I have more of these thoughts coming down the road. Hope you're having an awesome day and see you soon on ADHD Entrepreneur Accelerator.